Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, teacher.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, let's start by this exercise. Okay, read the introduction, please.
In each dialogue, choose the speaker A or B who is going to turn down the heat.
Good. Now, as one of the speakers, A and B, is going to turn down the heat. Go on.
A, would you mind turning down the heat? No, not at all.
Okay, what do you think? Who's going to turn down the heat? A or B?
I think B, because this is ask someone to do something.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, do you mind closing the door? Who's going to close the door? Who's going to close the door? The speaker or the listener?
The listener.
The listener, okay? The listener.
Yes.
Now, number 2. Yes, please.
Would you mind if I turn down the heat? No, not at all.
Okay. Who's going to do the action? A or B? A. Thank you very much. Good. Now, what do you understand? Now, do you mind? We can make 2 types of requests. If you want the other one to do something, what do you say?
I said, would you mind plus the germ.
Okay, would you mind opening? Would you mind leaving? Would you mind closing? Okay. Would you mind bringing? Would you mind making? I want somebody to do something. I'm requesting somebody to do something. But if, would you mind if I closed? Would you mind if I closed? What do you understand?
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
The speaker is going to do the action.
Okay, thank you. Now, would you mind if I used your telephone?
No.
I'm asking, this is a request, and I'm asking for a permission, right? I'm asking for a permission. Does that make any trouble to you? This is the meaning. Does that make any trouble to you? So we can use would you mind in making requests, okay? In 2 ways. The first way again, yes? Yes?
Would you mind plus gerund when I ask?
Give me an example. For example, yeah.
Would you mind?
You want my pen. This is the pen. Request the pen.
Would you mind giving me?
Would you mind giving me your pen? Would you mind giving me your pen? She wants me to do the action, to give. Thank you. And the other type, yes?
Would you mind plus F? When I say, would you mind if I answer the question, please?
Would you mind if I answered? Thank you. Good. Yes?
Would you mind if I sit here?
No, not at all. Thank you. This is a good example. She's okay. She's using the language. Okay. She's requesting something. She wants to move. Okay. Now look. Would you mind? What did she say? Would you mind if I sit here? Would you mind if I sit here? She asked for a permission, right?
Yes.
She wanted to do something. Okay, what was my request? What was my response? How did I answer her request? Okay, no, not at all. Would you mind? No, not at all. No. Is this a positive or a negative response?
Positive.
Okay, this is a positive response. That's right. Would you mind giving me your pencil?
Yes, no, not at all.
No, not at all. Okay. Would you mind giving me your pen? No, not at all. Okay. If you don't want to give, would you mind giving? Yes, request my pen.
Would you mind? Would you mind giving me your pen, please?
Yes, I mind. Okay. I don't want to give. I don't want to give. So yes is a negative response. Okay. Now look. Would you mind if I closed? Would you mind if I used? If I used, it closed. What is the tense? Past simple. Does it indicate the past?
No.
No. But it indicates what?
Present.
The present or
The future.
the future. Very good. So the simple past here doesn't indicate the past. Indicates the present or the future. Now I'd like you to request something from your friend, then make or use one of these responses. You can say no, not at all, no, of course not, no, that would be fine. Okay, this is, as we said, a positive request. Yeah, request something from your friend and make a response. Go on, please. Now listen. Would you mind if I opened? Would you mind if I closed? Would you mind if I used? This is formal English. In informal situations, in everyday language, you can say, would you mind if I close? We use the simple present. Okay? So we can use the simple present or the past simple. And again, as we said, the simple past does not mean the past. It means what? The present or the future. Good. Now look. When I say, may I close the window? What do you understand? May I? I'm asking for a permission, right? May I close? Is that all right for you if I do that? Okay. Will it cause you any trouble or discomfort if I close the window? I'm asking for a permission. Now again, we said the positive response is what?
No.
No, not at all. Okay, but if you don't want, if you mind, or if it causes any problem, any trouble for you, you say what? Yes, I mind. Yes, I mind. Okay. Now, sometimes also you can say, use your some sounds as if you want to say, no, I disagree, I don't want to. Okay? Now, I want somebody to request something, may I, using may I, and another one to make a response. It's up to you. Make a negative or a positive response. Yeah, who wants? Yes, please.
May I use your mobile, please?
No, of course not.
Okay, is it a positive or a negative response? Positive, thank you. Who can make a negative response? Yes, please, ask your friend something. Yeah?
May I give you your pen? Give me your pen.
May I use your pen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I might. Good. Yes, I might. That's right. She doesn't want to give. Okay. Now, would you mind closing the window? Okay. Would you mind closing the window? Who's the doer of the action? The speaker or the listener? Asma.
The listener is going to do the action.
Okay. The listener is requested to do the action. That's right. Thank you. Now, would you mind repeating that? Would you mind? A teacher says to the student, would you mind repeating that? Who's expected to repeat? The teacher.
The student.
Again. The student is asking the teacher. Who is expected to repeat?
The student. The teacher is asking the student, or
The student is asking the teacher. Okay, so it is the teacher. Now, how can we answer that? Okay, now, yeah, let's use the answers. Let's use the answers. Would you mind giving me your pencil?
No, I'd like be able to.
Okay, I'd be happy to. Thank you. Okay. Would you mind giving me your pencil? No, not at all. Okay, no, I don't mind. It means I'd be glad. Okay. Now, informal response you can say between friends in spoken language. No problem. Sure, or you say okay. Now, what does it mean? Would you mind if I... Okay, would you mind if I closing the window? What does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, please.
I am asking you to do something for me.
Okay. Would that cause any trouble, any inconvenience for you? Okay. Now, we use sure and okay as you saw. Now, how can we answer it? Sure and okay. They are very common response. Okay. A lot of people use that. But do you think they are logical answers or response?
No.
Now, when I ask you, look, informal, you say no problem. We said that this is a positive response, right? It is a positive one. So if it is positive, when I ask you, do you mind giving me your pen? You say
No problem.
sure. You say sure.
Yes, you
Sure, what does it mean sure?
Negative response.
Okay, sure I mind, but you give. You give, right? So, you know, there is no matching between what you say and what you do, right? Mismatching between the answers and the action. That's right. So again, many people misunderstand it. But it is common. It is common, but not a logical answer. It is not a logical answer. Why again? Sure. Do you mind giving? Do you mind closing? Sure. Sure means I mind. Okay, but it is a positive response. Now, native speakers are aware of this point. They understand it well. But sometimes speakers or non-native speakers of English may have some troubles in this point. Look at this exercise. Look at this exercise. Yeah.
Yes.
تفضلي.
Would you mind speaking with John?
Okay, read.
Make
What does he want?
Would you mind?
Yeah.
I want you to speak with John.
Yeah. I want you to speak. I want you to
Ask
speak.
someone.
I want something from John. Okay, and I want you to speak about that. Yeah.
Would you mind speaking with John?
Very good. Thank you. Would you mind speaking with John? Thank you. Next one. Yes, please.
Would you mind if I spoke?
Read it. Read it. I want to.
With John?
Yeah.
Would you mind if I spoke with John?
Would you mind if I spoke? Would you mind if I spoke? I'm going to do the action. Okay? I'm going to do the action. Yes, please.
I want to turn on the air conditioner. Would you mind if I turn on the...
Very good. Would you mind if I turn the air conditioner? Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, please.
I want you to turn on the air conditioner. Would you mind if I turning on the air conditioner?
فيش تفعال.
Again. Now listen. I want to turn. I want to turn. Would you mind if I turned? Now I want you to turn. I want you to do the action.
Would you mind if I turning on?
Would you mind? Turning. Okay, repeat it again. Say it again. Would you mind?
Would you mind turning on the air conditioner?
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Look at this exercise. Read the introduction, please. Read the introduction. Dua.
Complete the sentences with the verbs in parentheses. Use if I plus the past tense.
Look, use if I plus the past tense or the ing. Yeah, go on.
Of the verb. In some of the sentences, either response is possible, but the meaning is different.
Thank you. Now listen. In some sentences, you can use only what? If plus the past participle. In other sentences, you can use what? The ing form of the verb. In some only. In other sentences, you can use the two answers, but with different meanings. Yes, please. Go on. Number one. Number two. This is number two. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Would you mind?
If I
Huh?
stayed.
If I
Stayed.
stayed. Would you mind if I stayed? Very good. Thank you. Next one.
It is getting hot in here. Would you mind opening the window?
Would you mind opening the window? Good. This is a good answer. Now, who is the doer of the action? The speaker or the listener? Okay. Would you mind opening? Yes, the listener is the doer of the action. Another answer. Yeah, what would you like to say?
It's getting hot in here. Would you mind if I open the window?
Okay, good. If I opened, who is the doer of the action? The speaker. Thank you. Good. Next one. Yes, please. Next one.
It's getting hot in here.
Number 4. Number 4.
This is probably none of my business. But would you mind if I asked you a personal question?
Okay, thank you. Would you mind if I asked? Good.
Yes. Yes.
Number 5.
Would you mind smoking? I'd really rather you don't.
Okay. Would you mind smoking? Would you mind smoking? Just a minute. Who's the doer of the action? Who wants to smoke?
The speaker.
Just a minute, please. Just a minute.
Speaker want to do this action.
Okay. Now the speaker wants to do the action. So what shall he say?
Would you mind if I smoke?
Very good. Would you mind if I smoked? Okay. If I smoked.
He's asking for permission, yes.
That's right. Asking for a permission. Yes, please.
Excuse me, would you mind speaking a little more slowly? I didn't catch what he said.
Good. Would you mind speaking? And finally, yes?
I don't like this TV program. Would you mind changing, or if I change the channel?
Good. What's the difference between changing and if I changed?
One the speaker and one the listener.
Okay, good. Check your answers. Make sure that you got the right answers. This is another exercise. Yeah. Who wants to read the introduction? The introduction. Yes, please.
Complete the polite request with your own words.
Now, with your own words. So we expect different answers, right? Okay, go on.
Try to imagine what the speaker might say in the given situation.
Okay, this is a situation. I want 2 students. Yes, please, you 2. Go on, start it. Imagine that you are in the situation. You imagine that you are in a restaurant. Yes. Waiter.
Waiter, sorry.
Yeah.
Waiter, good evening. Are you ready to order?
No, we're not. Could you bring us some water, please?
Could you bring us some water, please? What do you think of this answer? It's a good answer.
Yes.
Okay, I want to use a subject and what? A verb. Could you bring us some water, please? Can you think of another answer? Yeah?
I can say, could you please return in a few minutes?
Okay, could you please return in a few minutes? Thank you. Good. It's another good answer. Thank you. Yeah, another answer.
Not another answer.
The other one. Okay, you 2.
Are you driving to the meeting tonight? Could you pick me up at 7?
Very good. Could you pick me? Okay.
Sure, I'll pick you up at 7.
Thank you. Could I have a ride? Could I have a ride also? That's nice. Thank you. Next one, number 4. Yes, you 2, Samahar and her friend. You 2, reads.
Something.
Let she start. Let she start.
Some things come up, and I cannot meet with you Tuesday. Would you mind if I
Good.
delete them?
Okay. Would you mind if I
Delete that.
delay that? Good. Thank you.
Let me check my
check my calendar. You are right. Thank you. Yeah.
Would you mind would you mind meeting on Thursday?
Yes, I.
Okay. You can use the both responses, right? Thank you. Number 5. Number 5. New ones. Yes, please. You too. Go on. Read it. Mechanic and customer.
You have got a new cell phone. You don't know how.
Which one you are doing? Number 5? This is number 5. Mechanic and the customer.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, number 5. Number 5. Yes, please. You too.
What seems to be the trouble with your car?
Something wrong with the brakes, I think. Could you repair it, please?
Could you repair?
Yes.
Thank you. Could you check? Could you
please?
come and see? Okay. You want to use a subject and a good verb.
Yes.
Okay. And finally, you too.
Are you enjoying the movie? Yes. You? Yes, but I can't see over the man in front of me. Would you mind telling him? Would you mind moving from our seats? Not at all. I see 2 empty seats across the aisle.
Thank you. Check your answers. Do you mind? Number 6.
Would you mind
If
we
if we moved. If we moved.
Yes.
Another exercise. Another exercise. Read the introduction, please. Yes, read the introduction. Okay.
Read the statements, choose the more typical context, A or B, for the words in blue, discuss their meaning.
Okay, now, this is I have got to. What does it mean, A or B? Go on. Number 1.
Gosh, look at the time. I've got to go. I have class in 5 minutes. I think it's A, everyday conversation.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Good. Thank you. Next one.
All applicants must be 18 years of age and must have a valid driver's license. Formal writing.
Formal writing. Thank you. Good.
Yes.
And next one.
We have to prepare a research paper on global warming in Dr. Science similar this term. I think that it will be interesting
Everyday
Everyday
conversation.
Thank you. Good. Now listen. We used what? I have got to. And we used what?
Must be.
Okay, must be. And we used what? Have to. Have to. What do you understand from this exercise? What can you say about that? Yeah.
Maybe must to the strongest.
Must, okay, expresses stronger necessity or obligation than have to and have got to. You are right. Thank you. And what about formality? Yeah.
Have got it used informal.
Okay. Now, so have got to is used in everyday conversation. It is what?
Informal.
Informal. Good. And what about
Have to. Have to is also.
have to? Is also
informal.
informal. So according to this exercise, okay, have to, okay, have got to can be used in everyday language, informally, right? And must is used in what? Formally. Is used formally. And they express necessity or obligation. And as you said, must expresses what? Stronger necessity or obligation. Now look at the examples. All applicants must take an entrance exam. All applicants have to take an entrance exam. Okay, now they express what? It is necessary for the applicants. They express necessity. Now, do you think there is a difference in meaning between the first and the second sentence? No, they have almost the same meaning. It is necessary for them. Okay? They have no other choice. It is also, they say it is a must. Okay, taking an exam is a must. Okay? Now, I'm looking for Sue. I have to talk to her about our lunch date tomorrow. I can't meet her for lunch because I have to go to business. Look, what does that mean? I have a business meeting at 1. It means that I need to talk to her and I need to go to the meeting. Okay? There is what? I have to. Okay? There is obligation, necessity. The two actions are necessary. Now, where is Sue? I must talk to her right away. Right away.
Very important.
More important, very good. Stronger obligation. Look, right away, stronger obligation. I have an urgent message for her. Now, what does that mean? Right now. I must talk right now. The meaning is stronger. And this is very important. Look, this is necessary. It is necessary to talk to her about lunch and about the meeting. Right? But her, it is more necessary to meet her. It is a stronger obligation or necessity. Now, what's the difference between have to, must, and have got to? As we said, they express necessity or obligation. Now, have to is used more commonly than must in everyday language. People in everyday language, okay, don't use must very much, okay? They use have to. And it means necessity or obligation. Now, must is stronger and expresses what? Urgency. Emphasizes the importance that something is important. It is used also in what? Legal and academic writing. Must is used in legal and academic writing. Now, how do we pronounce it? How do we pronounce it?
In informal conversational language, we say have to.
That's right. Thank you.
Yes.
Good.
Or has to.
Okay. Or has to. Thank you. Now, what about have got to? Look at the example. I have got to go now. I have a class in 10 minutes.
Yes.
I have a class and I have to go now. I have a class in 10 minutes. The two sentences, look, what's the difference? In the first one we used
Have got to.
and in the second sentence? Okay. Now, what is the difference between the first and the second one? Do you think have got to expresses necessity?
Yes.
Expresses obligation?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, what's the difference between have got to and have to? Yeah.
Have to is informal, but have to informal or formal.
Yes.
Okay.
But, have got to go or have got to informal.
Thank you. Now, we can express necessity using what? Using must.
Have to.
Okay. Have to.
Have got to.
Have got to. Okay. Must expresses what? Stronger necessity or obligation, right?
Yes.
And it is formally used. Now, have to is used what? Formally and informally. Okay, now listen. We used what? We can use must, have to, and have got to express necessity. Who can tell me what's the difference between them? Yes, Khadija.
Must it used to express stronger necessity.
And
Informal. It's
formal. Good. And
have to it used in formal and informal.
Good.
Speaking. Have got to in informal.
thank you. That's nice. Now, what about the pronunciation in everyday language? Yes. Yeah.
I have got to go. We say it in formal language. I've gotta go. I gotta go.
Thank you. Okay, let's say goodbye. Thank you for today.